Hey there, ShitTube, Scary Entertainment Nostalgia Fun, aka SENF, back again with another video, and oh boy am I glad that 2019 is over. Seriously, 2019 has been an absolutely shitty roller coaster of a year. Just take a look back at all the events that happened. Celebrity deaths, COPPA, the worst animated films in history, and a shady music company becoming the #1 most subscribed YouTube channel of all time. So I am desperately hoping for a fresh start this year. Actually, hold up. We've got new shit to be worried about. Like World War III, because Trump has never read a history book. Anyway, to officially begin the new decade, I decided to make a list of the worst logos from the past decade. So, it's been a pretty tough list considering that most of the choices come from America, or they're just bland and nothing special, but I'll try to be somewhat interested in talking about them, even if the logos are as dull as dishwater. But yeah, without further ado, let's begin the list. Okay, hold up, so Future Senf here. I actually have a second YouTube channel where I'm gonna be posting music. If you want to know what genre I specialize in, well, I don't really have a genre, I just do whatever the hell I want and call it a day. So if you like that kind of stuff, then make sure you subscribe to my second YouTube channel and follow my SoundCloud for even more music content. Both links will be in the description below. Okay, let's get back to the list. Now, I don't particularly hate this logo, but I can see why this is a more lazy effort than the last logo. Not only is the logo on a black background, but it also consists only of a single N, and zooms into the N to reveal a spectrum of colors. And it only goes on for 5 seconds, too. But the worst part about the logo, without a doubt, has to be the fact that it's going to plaster all the other Netflix logos that came before it. So we're basically left with this abomination for as long as it's still around. Oh boy, where do I begin with this one? As you could probably tell, this logo is from a foreign country, as evidenced by the fact that they have no idea what to do with the animation, and the music is stolen. Stolen from Sony, that is. And they also added a bunch of cheap sound effects to basically cover it up. Also, the text for Cambodia looks like it was just plastered on there with some cheap video editing software. So yeah, this is basically another shameless ripoff that has some cheap animation and stock sound effects. Moving on.
बुझ जाए गर शमा तो जल सकती है, कश्ती हदे तूफान से निकल सकती है, मायूस न हो अपने इरादे न बदल, तकदीर किसी वक्त बदल सकती है.
Not gonna lie, but I almost rolled on the floor laughing when I saw the pyramid pop up for a second. Anyway, from the good old country of India, we have Pyramid Production, and whoo boy, it is terrible. First of all, the CGI, especially for the pyramid, it is god-awful. It is awful. And then you have these 3 stars coming in, and the text which says Pyramid Production as well. And these 3 stars, like, one of them goes on the P, and then another one goes on the pyramid, and then another one is just like the dot for the I. Like, are this Are they supposed to be asterisks or something? Is there something I'm missing from this logo? Because they look so awful. And like the pyramid is just wobbling all over the place. It's not steady. Oh. India, you never cease to amaze me with your logos. Holy shit. And now, after traveling twice, it's time we go back to the US of A with this clunky cesspool of shit. The logo just looks like it was made in about 5 minutes. They took the original logo, added television distribution, shortened everything, and boom, that was it. The final result looks cheap, rushed, and just flat out ugly. Worse yet, it's also another plaster. So yeah, thanks, Fox. Not. Now, Fox, as we've suggested early on, is known for making questionable choices, especially when it comes to their logos. Now, when Fox 21 and Fox Television Studios merged, people thought that they were going to do the searchlights for the new logo. But nope. Instead, they went with the bland typewriter. The overused, bland typewriter that was in the previous Fox 21 logo and was already dumb to begin with. Don't believe me when I say it's overused? Well, have a look at these logos then. Yeah, now you know why I'm pissed. So the next time I see this particular logo, or any other typewriter logo for that matter, I might smash my head against a brick wall. But wait, there's more to this Fox madness, because we've got yet another 20th Century Fox logo to talk about. Only this time, it's a ripoff of 20th Century Fox, and it's from India. So it's a double whammy. Oh my wow. Do I really need to say anything about this logo? I mean, haven't these guys heard about a lawsuit? And that 20th Century Fox has the right to file a lawsuit? In fact, they probably already have. Like I said before, India, you never cease to amaze me with your logo madness. So now we segue into the part of the video where I talk about the big three, or as I'd like to call them, the three bland amigos. Starting off with the most recent one, Summit Entertainment 2018, or Damn It Entertainment. The biggest problem I have with Damn It Entertainment is that it's so lazy. It's incredibly lazy compared to the last few logos that were before it. Kind of like Netflix, except in this case it's somehow worse, because A, there's no Summit, B, a Lionsgate company gets longer screen time than Summit Entertainment, and C, there's very little substance in this logo. You could tell that Lionsgate is trying to basically eat up this company. And problem A that I mentioned is basically the main reason why I think all three bland amigos deserve to be on this list is because their previous logos were great representations of their company names, but then their next logo just had their identity stripped. And you're gonna see more of what I mean, like, about now. Now, can anyone guess what this logo is missing? Exactly. The NBC peacock and the universal globe, both of which are supposed to make the logos stand out from one another, but were somehow left out of the final product that is this abomination. Compared to their last effort, this seems rushed. Like Mr. Director Wright said, it looks like it was made in Adobe Premiere in 5 minutes. I mean, what even is that in the background? A purple bedsheet being waved around in slow motion? Also, the text looks pretty bland on its own without either of the company's icons being represented. The logo is supposed to be NBC Universal, but nothing here represents NBC or Universal. Worse yet, they're still using this logo almost 9 years after its conception. I honestly don't know what to say about this other than it's another case of identity being stripped. Let's face it, you all knew this was coming. And for the record, I'm actually going to be counting all variants here because, well, if you thought NBC Universal was bad, then just wait till you hear what Starz does with their logo. They use the exact same format for all of their divisions. It doesn't matter if it's Starz Originals, or Star Kids and Family, or Star Edge, or Anchor Bay with Stars. It's all the same. It's the same basic stupid format that looks like it was made in Adobe Premiere in 5 minutes, to quote Mr. Director 8. But seriously, this logo looks absolutely cheap. If you were to take away the text and the lighting, you would essentially get a black background. That's about it. But the fact that they use this for all their divisions and subsidiaries is absolutely disgusting. That means that this cheap-ass logo can be seen everywhere. The previous logo that they had at least had a star in the middle of the A and the R, which is a decent representation of Starz, the name of the company. Duh. But here, all you get is just a black background with some lighting and a bland, basic, white font. That's it. All you get is that. So I think you get the point. All three of these logos are the result of being filtered through a minimalist algorithm. Summit Entertainment doesn't have a mountain or a summit, NBC Universal doesn't have its peacock or its globe, and Starz doesn't have a star. It's like the CEO for these companies was just like, yo, we gotta be as edgy and minimalistic as possible. Yeah, we've gotta be like that album cover for the 1975's A Brief Inquiry into Online Relationships. Or better yet, the awful excuse of an album cover that was America by 30 Seconds to Mars. Yeah, because society wants minimalism, and we're gonna give it to them. That's the impression I get whenever I see one of these logos. Scummy corporate attempts to seem like they're adapting to change. If you were to put all three of these logos together, they would all look homogenized. So homogenized, in fact, that I might as well call them the three bland amigos with absolutely no character traits or identities that make them stand out from one another whatsoever. There, that sums up my argument for all of these logos. But believe it or not, there is actually a logo worse than Starz. But we'll get to that in a minute. In the meantime, here are some honorable or dishonorable mentions. You might remember that this was on my top 10 worst logos of all time list, and with good reason, because this logo is absolutely terrible. I mean, where do I even begin with it? The quality is so awful. But all that is just to distract you from the other list of problems this logo has. For example, take a look at what's around the lion picture. It's a looped video. It keeps looping over and over again, and it's incredibly lazy. Also, the background is red, like I mentioned before. This makes the logo look very unpleasant. In addition to that, also, the whole thing is off-center, and the music sounds absolutely terrible, on top of the roar sounding less like a roar and more like a booming noise coming out of your speakers. And to top this all off, once again, films is spelt with an apostrophe. I'm basically just copying what I said for my top 10 worst logos of all time video, as you could probably gather. But, yeah, this logo sucks. It absolutely sucks. And to think, this came out the same year as the Stars 2016 logo. But it just happened to be from overseas. But this is easily the worst logo of the decade. Hands down. No competition. The worst part about this is that Pakistani has the potential to create some good logos, as with Six Sigma Plus. But instead, they rather use that power to create terrible logos using film instead of digital resources, which is kind of sad. It makes me think that the Pakistani film industry is still kind of in the dark ages, if you know what I mean. But nevertheless, this logo still gets the top spot. And that was the entire list for the top 10 worst logos of the decade. If you enjoyed it, make sure you subscribe to the channel. That will help a lot. And also like the video. That will also help a lot. And comment down below what list suggestion you have. This took me a while to get done, mainly because school has just been going full-on sicko mode at this point, with projects and quizzes and also midterms coming up. And yes, I'm well aware that sicko mode is a dead meme and everyone hates it now. Sorry, new decade. Like I said before, I'm happy that 2019 is over, but 2020 is just a whole new shitload of problems that I have to deal with. That everyone has to deal with, in fact, because World War III is about to start, maybe. We don't quite know yet, and Trump is still being a dick as always. And to add to all that, the 2020 election is also coming up, which is also going to be a shitload of problems, considering that Trump might get elected again. R.I.P. feminists. So, we didn't exactly have a good start like we were hoping in 2020. But, hopefully, through all of this, you will find something to enjoy this year. So, this year, I want you to try to stay joyous, but also stay informed on what's going on, because you never know what's going to happen. Just continue with your life as usual, and if any war does start, don't panic. And I know that sounds pretty cheesy and wrong, but just that's as good as my speech is gonna get, alright? Okay, but on that note, stay informed and stay positive if you can. This is Mustard Boy wishing you a good rest of your day. Peace.